Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I'd like to welcome you, dear viewers, to another in our series, In the Light of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace and blessings be on each and every one of you. In this segment of our program, a program which has been designed to cater to your needs, where you have questions, queries, doubts, etc. about things concerning Islam and Islamic teachings, how can Islam be applied here in this situation, etc., then this is your chance to get them answered. We'll try our best to find answers for you. This program has been provided by Sharjah Television with the instruction of the ruler of Sharjah, that is Sheikh Dr. Sultan Al-Qasimi. This is a very great opportunity to help the community in this regard. And we'll start off with our first question, and that is one from Dubai, in which we're asked to clarify, dear Dr. Bilal Phillips, when in Mecca Muslims were not allowed to fight, does this apply today as well in a situation where Muslims are in a minority? Yes, it does. It would not be practical for Muslims to fight. I mean, of course, we'll have to ask, why are they fighting? I mean, we don't want to give the impression that Muslims just like to fight. So, can we fight when we're in a minority? And if we're in a majority, definitely it's okay to fight? No. What we're talking about here is where Muslims come under attack, where their wealth, their property, their families are being harmed. Can they fight back? In a situation where Muslims are weak, then for them to try to take on the dominating forces is only to create greater bloodshed, try to avoid fighting, etc., etc. Hopefully the Muslim world can come to our aid in one way or another. To begin to fight, one really needs to be in a position to carry that fight to its logical conclusion. If we're not able to do that, it's better not to get involved in the fight. So I would say yes, in cases where Muslims are weak, we should look at the example of the Prophet ﷺ, to be patient in such circumstances, not to try to fight back, because the reaction of those who are directing attacks on us will only increase, it will not decrease in that sense. The second question, which is requested here, is if highway robbers are not allowed, why were the caravans of Quraysh intercepted at that time? Well, the person is referring to an issue from the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Highway robbery, of course, is something very serious. Islam prescribes for the highway robber that they be killed, crucified, right and left hands cut off, banished from the country. This number of very severe punishments for them, depending on the severity of their crime. So highway robbery is definitely forbidden. So the person asks, well, if that's the case, how in the world did Prophet Muhammad ﷺ end up with his companions attacking a caravan, or trying to attack a caravan, which is like highway robbery? Well, we have a different situation here. In the case of the Battle of Badr, where the Prophet ﷺ and his companions began to raid the caravans of the Quraysh. This was in retaliation for what was done to Meccans, what was done to the Muslims in Mecca, where they were tortured, they were beaten, they were killed, their property was taken from them, etc. Those who left were forced to give up all their property and just flee with the clothes on their backs. Such a situation, was an unfair situation for them to attack the caravans and to take some of the wealth back. This was quite a legitimate act. But now to just go as highway robbers, just kidnapping people and these kind of things, as is taking place currently, in southern Philippines, very, very unfortunate. You have a group known as the Abu Sayyaf. They're involved in activities which are definitely against Islam. Islam has nothing to do with this at all. And as a matter of fact, I even read in the newspaper today, one of the French journalists that were released, he had said that, he was very ashamed that this was really giving a bad impression of Islam, and that these people are mistaken if they think that these people are really fighting for an Islamic cause. No, that in fact these are just robbers. That's all they are. You know, very nice comments that the journalist made, showing that Islam really has nothing to do with this at all. What they're doing, though they use the name of Islam, etc., it really has nothing to do with Islam at all. It is just robbery, hijacking, hostage taking, etc., for the sake of money. Very unfortunate, because of course it's reached world proportions and has created a very negative image of Muslims on the world scale. Third question: if the Prophet ﷺ read the whole Quran in Ramadan, how were the verses placed in it which were revealed after Ramadan, i.e. the verses revealed in Hajj? Well, when it is mentioned, this person was referring to the issue that the Quran was, the whole Quran was read every Ramadan. Prophet ﷺ, it was his practice to read the whole Quran every Ramadan. In the last Ramadan of his life, he read the whole thing twice. So the person is asking, how could the Prophet ﷺ have read the whole thing when the verses were revealed right up until the last year of his life into Hajj after Ramadan? How did he read the whole thing, recite the whole thing? Well, when he says he read the whole Quran that was revealed at the time. When he did it, years earlier, he recited for them what was revealed, because the rest of it didn't come to him. So the revelation of the Quran and the reading of the Quran, we should understand it within the context of the Prophet ﷺ receiving verses from Allah, which Angel Gabriel instructed him to put this verse in that chapter, this verse in that chapter, before this one, after this one, so gave him that information. And then when Ramadan came, he used to recite all of what he had memorized, or what had been given to him. The next question comes from Abu Dhabi. Dear Dr. Phillips, could you clarify for me whether it is haram for a woman to remove her facial hair or not? This is a very common question for women asking about the removal of facial hair. Well, of course, the hair which is around the eyebrows, we've talked about that a number of times before. This is what has been specifically prohibited. But facial hair in general, the prohibition which is what has been taken to be generally the hair of the eyebrows, does include hair on the face in general. So what the scholars have said basically is that if that hair, becomes excessive, where she starts to look like a man, then to remove it to maintain her femininity, etc., is permissible. Although some scholars like Sheikh Nasruddin said, no, don't remove that hair. As long as the Prophet forbade it, leave it. Because, perhaps there is somebody who is attracted to that. Like a beardless man, he gave. This is an example. A person who can't grow a beard, and there are some people like that. And these are amongst the signs of Allah. Allah has made women who normally don't grow beards, here's one who grows a beard. Men who normally grow a beard, here's one who doesn't have a beard. So he didn't really permit it. But the majority of scholars do hold that it is permissible that she do so. Second question: is it necessary to wear a niqab, or only the headscarf is sufficient? Is it necessary to wear an outer garment over our normal dresses? Well, this first question, wearing of niqab or only headscarf. Well, the wearing of the headscarf is sufficient. The position of the majority of scholars is that it is not compulsory for her to do so. To wear one is recommended to cover the face, leaving the eyes out so she can see. This is something recommendable, but we cannot say it is really compulsory. Meaning, if she doesn't do so, she's in sin. Is it necessary to wear an outer garment over our normal dresses? When a woman goes outside of her home, yes, she should wear the outer garment, the jilbab, as Allah said, that yudnina alayhinna min jalabibihinna, that they should bring their outer garments close around themselves, not to reveal their shape, etc. And this is a part of Islamic teachings. Wearing the jilbab when she leaves her home. Not just a regular dress, which is a source of attraction. See, the idea again is that when the woman goes out, she tries to cover up her beauty. So it doesn't become a source of attraction, of attention, which is sexual attention, by those who may harm her, or those who obviously she doesn't want to have these kind of responses to. So similarly, she's not allowed to wear perfume, or this strong smelling perfume. Something very, very light, which may end up in her soap or whatever, no problem. But if she's wearing something strong when she walks by, there's this new trail of perfume behind her, causing people to stare and see her as she's walking by. This is in fact forbidden. Prophet said a woman who leaves like this is an adulteress until she returns home. So it's something very, very serious, and a woman should be aware of it. The third question, and the last question from our sister, please tell us something about women wearing makeup. According to Islamic teachings, when is it permissible for women to beautify themselves? In terms of wearing makeup, if she does so in the presence of her